Hey guys, Kerry Coon here. All right, today it's a beautiful day. It's windy as heck, it's cold. I'm out here on my barrel horse prospect, our Firewater Flit filly. So anybody interested in a good barrel horse prospect, why, send us a message. What I want to do with her today is kind of show you guys some things that I do when I'm just warming up, along the idea of teaching a horse to slow their RPM gauge down. It's not uncommon for a barrel horse, I'll get to moving around here, because of what we practice in the sport of barrel racing. Now, I didn't grow up running barrels, I grew up competing in the roping. But the barrel racing sport isn't much different than the roping, as it adds and encourages a horse to really speed up all the time. So it's not hard to believe that these horses would get in a habit or get stuck in a mindset where all they want to do is go. So what I want to show you guys today is what I'm thinking about when I'm working my horses, trying to get their mind to where I can speed them up. And when I ask them to slow down, that RPM gauge comes right back down with me when I slow their body, when I slow their feet, and then I'm not having to ride the brake all the time. So I haven't really warmed this mare up today. I'm just gonna jog her here for a couple circles here. Not uncommon to come out here on a cool day, the wind's blowing, and these horses to be a little fresh. So the fact that she's not warmed up, she might go pretty fast. If she doesn't go very fast, I'm gonna ask her to speed up and go pretty fast, so I can show you guys what it looks like when you ask your horse to come back down to you, to slow back down, and that RPM gauge comes back with the feet. So that concept right there is what I'm going to be practicing from a much faster speed. Now, this is not a video about using a one rein stop. There are tons of videos out there on the idea of a one rein stop. We've shot quite a few of them ourselves that you could go back and watch. Today I'm going to be using 2 reins to help this horse come back to me, and all I'm trying to do is give her some opportunities to speed up and then slow back down without me having to feel like I got to keep my foot on the brake all the time. So right here, I'm just gonna take the slack out of my reins, bring her back. When she came back to me right there and she got to the walk, before I let go of my reins, come back around here where the camera can see me, I rolled her up in the bridle, made sure she was soft in my hands before I turned loose. But the key to this whole exercise is to making sure that I turn loose, okay? You cannot ride the brake on your horse and expect that horse to not stay stuck in a mentality of all they want to do is go. When I set my hand down and put slack back in them reins, what I'm saying to my horse is, it's now your responsibility to stay at this slower speed. Speed her up just a little bit more here. And right here, just bring her to a walk. She's soft in my hand, I turn loose. And you see how she can go from a faster speed right down to a walk. And her motor on the inside, what I refer to as that RPM gauge, is not still pegged out at 3,500 RPM, where when I set my hand down, she can't stay at this slower speed. If all I ever do is speed my horse up and I don't understand what I'm doing in my horse's mind as I'm pulling on the reins all the time. I'm either pulling on the reins to slow my horse down, or I'm leaning on my reins and I don't even know it. And I don't understand what that does in a horse's mind. Pretty soon that horse doesn't listen to your bridle like he ought to. Okay, so we'll speed back up here. It's pretty windy right there. So I got some pretty good speed right here. RPM gauge is revved up. Bring her down to a walk, set my hand down. Guys, I'll just come out here and I'll practice this over and over and over. Let's say my horse is really fresh. She's not that fresh today, even though it's pretty cool and the wind's blowing. We did some filming yesterday and used her for some stuff, so. But if I did come out here and she was really fresh, I wouldn't hold her back. I'd let her go anywhere in this arena she wanted to, steer a little bit, and while she's burning up some of that extra energy, I might just do that. I might let her go for a little bit, take the slack out of the reins, bring her back to a walk. And I'm gonna challenge her here and say, come back to the trot, and let's go trot a couple circles. I'm messing around here with my bridle, or my reins, rolling her up in this bridle some, but I'm not holding her from going faster. I'm just trying to teach this mare how to follow a feel, be ready to speed up when I ask for it, but also ready to slow down. Roll her up in the bridle here. I'm gonna go ahead and stop and back her up. So I view it this way. Let's say I've got her in a spot where I'm gonna go compete at a barrel race somewhere, and I wanna go to that first barrel as hard as I can go, and I need that horse to rate off. What I'm doing in the process of getting her to that point is I'm trying to build maybe an exaggerated mindset of a willingness to rate or slow that RPM gauge, because I know once I start competing, it's gonna be, my horse is gonna have a tendency to wanna go the other direction, meaning maybe not have as much rate. So while I'm in the process of building this horse to the point where I could go compete on her, I really want to remind her, hey, when I pick up on these reins and I ask you to slow down, I need you to come back to me. I'm not asking her to stop like our cow horses. We got some stuff that we're working on with her with that. This particular exercise isn't one of them. I'm just trying to go from a lope or even faster to a walk. I'm probably doing more of it with my reins than I am with my hands, or with my body, excuse me, my seat and my legs. I really need this horse to respect my hands, my bridle. We're just riding her with a snaffle bit here today. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit to what I was doing right there. We'll speed her up this way again. And this time, instead of coming back just specifically to a walk, staying on this circle, I'm gonna slow her down and bring her down into a small, tight circle. There, just rolling her up in the bridle a little bit. So here I'm just gonna, when I pick up on her right there, I ask her to follow her nose. She comes right back to me. I'm gonna go do one of those going the other direction. It's hard to talk out here when it's this darn windy. Speed her up just a little bit more here. And then right here, just gonna bring her down in a small circle, asking her to come back to me a little bit. And I'll even come all the way to the walk in that circle like I did going the other way. And again, I'm trying to over exaggerate at this point in the process, because I need y'all to remember, when you get to a barrel race and you're competing, it's not uncommon to hear somebody in the stands yelling this at you as you're going around a barrel. Kick, 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 kick. So if I think about what's gonna happen when I start getting to those competitions and I'm going around those 3 barrels and I'm kicking the whole time, how many times of that is it gonna take before I completely erase whatever rate I had tried to build into that horse up until that point? So I'm trying to over exaggerate it at this stage, so once I get to that point, it's setting her mind strong enough that it'll let me put some pressure on her at those competitions. But again, I'm thinking this, I'm just gonna come out here and lope around. I can use the whole arena. I kept it on a circle for the sake of our camera today, but this horse could go as fast as I ask or even as fast as she wants. And I'm just gonna practice using both reins to see if I could bring her back to a walk. She gets soft in my hands, I set my hand down and she walks off. If she walks off, that's a good reminder for me that the RPM gauge came back with the feet. I wish it was as easy as it probably just looked, because if you're on that barrel horse that is stuck in go, it's not gonna work that way or work that easy. You might have to incorporate the one rein stop some in that scenario. But if you'll come out here and you'll practice that, make sure you're not pulling on them or leaning on the brakes while they're wanting to go, you can help that horse figure out how to slow his RPM gauge down. So I hope this is something that can help you guys. I'm gonna go find a place where it's warm. Thank you.